Hey everyone, it's Lady Letish41 with Reborns coming back to you to share a few things that I have created or that I've worked on, and I'm still working on some more Christmas cards. Okay, so the first one that I did was is not a Christmas card, but I made this one using my Diamond Dies tag die. And I think this is like the second biggest, and then it goes down, or this is the biggest. I think this is the biggest actually. Gosh, I don't even remember. But anyway, I used 3 to layer those, and then I simply went in there with my Tim Holtz distressed ink pads, the mini ink pads, and I inked the edges of all 3, and I went with my Stampin' Up! Markers. And I colored in the every image that I stamped on there, and then I just stamped on there friends. And then in the inside, let me see, the inside is just like this. It's got some speckles that I don't remember how I did this. I think I did the same thing. I used some ink from my, the Tim Holtz ink pads, and I dabbed some on my mat, and then I sprayed some water, and then I used a brush, and then I just sprinkled some of it on there, on this one, and then I layered the one with the sentiment. So, so yeah, this is one of the cards. As far as my Christmas cards that I created, because these are going out to someone. I made this one using this stamp set, and I don't think I have that here. Okay, so I used this one here by CC Designs. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I haven't gotten over my cough. But I used this stamp, and I've used this one a couple of times, but I went ahead and used that. And then I just cut the tag die again. I use that, and I did it to where I can connect them. And so what else did I do? So I went in there and I added this red mat there, and I embossed it with my snowflake embossing folder. And that I had picked up this one, I think, at Tuesday morning. And I just used one of my sentiments from, the cardstock that come in the paper pad. And then I did a poinsettia using my Tim Holtz poinsettia die. I added a little doily here, and I cut it here at this end, or the edge. And then I just colored the image in, and I just colored it in, and I just, adhere it on the doily. I didn't put any pops or anything like that, pop dots. So then I used some of my sequins, and I used this brad here to put in the center. Okay. So I just used some sequins there. And then I tied a white bow using, I made a little bow using the, one of my ribbons that I picked up at Hobby Lobby a while back. And then I just went over the edge like a stitch, marking there. And the inside, I used this stamp here, and I embossed this on there. And then this is part of, hang on baby, hang on, give me 1 second, okay? And then I just cut this into these 3, which is a stocking, a present, and the low bear, out of the long 12-inch borders that my girlfriend had sent to me a while back. So yeah, so that's that card. And then using this stamp, and then lastly on my cards, I got one project that I want to show you. I used this one. I got I was inspired on Pinterest. I went on Pinterest to get some ideas, and I went ahead and did this here. I went ahead and just used one of my, I don't remember what size card this is, but I used one of the cards that I picked up at Michael's a while back, and then I just layered the craft paper card, whatever, and then the white one embossed it with my polka dots, and then I put my sentiment on this here, and I kind of just lift it with some pop dots here, and then I just curved the edges, and I inked the around at the edge. I did this little star with some of the same paper, the corrugated cardstock paper, and I added a little pearl in the center of the star, and then these I pop dot, and I didn't mean to pop dot this one, but it was already too late and I didn't want to remove it. And so then I just added some of my different size pearls, and this one I used my mesh bling, and I did go on them using them in different direction, so that way they wouldn't look the same. And then again, I used the same ribbon on this one. I really like this one, and I only did it around this here, just like I did this one. I didn't do it around the whole tag, it's just around the mat. And so that's pretty much it. And then here I used this stamp, the Happy Holiday stamp, and I embossed it on there. So those are my 3 cards. And then lastly, my project, my daughter brings me this book here, and this is, she's a waitress at at a restaurant called Zio's. I believe it's an Italian restaurant. And I only did this right here to cover the the binding, but I didn't do anything in the inside because she has to put her receipts and money in there, so I didn't bother with this and stuff. So all I just was glued that there, and she says, "Here, Mom, do your work," or do your, how did she say it? She says, "Do your thing." She says, because she said that she was inspired by one of her friends that she aborted over to her job, and she saw that she had it, decorated. So this is what I did for hers. I went ahead and I used one of my papers. I can't remember. I think it was the I think I picked up this one. I think I picked up this one. It's a Merry Christmas. I don't remember. The Christmas Memory Stack. I think it's by DCWV. I picked up this one actually a couple years ago, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was this year. I thought it was one of my Tuesday morning finds. So anyway, I used this one here, and I just put a snowman there because she's all into, little different images, and but I didn't want to make it too childish either. And then I just layered a flower and a poinsettia, and then I put a little sentiment button there, and I cut off the back. I cut these holly leaves, and so I could just use part of it and hook them there. And then around it, I used some of my mesh bling, and see how I did the binding here, just so she doesn't see part of the the book. And it gives it a little bit of edge right here on the paper. And I didn't want to just leave it blank here, plain, and so I decided to put some mesh bling on the top and the bottom. And here's my little flower, poinsettia, and there's snowman. This is the way the paper was already, with the Merry Christmas and the little doily. I really like that doily. And then in the back, all I did was I just adhered the paper, and I didn't put any bling or anything like that. So, and it comes around right here. So that is it. That is it. I really didn't do too much. I just, because she sticks it in her apron, so I couldn't really add too much dimensional stuff. So that's pretty much it. I hope she likes it. Oh, and then here in the 2 corners, I went ahead and I used my Tim Holtz little corner deals, corner angles or whatever, the corners, and I used that one. I was gonna go back in there and use my rubbing buff or whatever you call it, but I had already placed them on there, so I decided just to leave them alone. So that is it, guys. I was going to do it to the back also, but I thought, no, maybe not, just the front, because she focuses more on the front. So that is it. I hope you like my cards and my little alteration book. And this one I did it within an hour because I was putting everything together, and I count all that, by putting it together. So really it only took me like maybe, I don't know, just a few minutes. But it took more time getting stuff together and deciding what to put. So, okay, that is it, guys. Hope y'all like my cards and altar book, and I will see y'all real soon. Bye.